Welcome back to the channel. This is now the new name channel, Workshops and Van Life in Dorris. Back in the old scrubs because we're starting a workshop build. So let me stand this side so that you can see. Excuse me. So the plan for the workshop is in this space, this nice big space that we've got just here. We're going to be building a foundation using slabs and concrete. The base will be, we're not touching the gravel patch just there. That's being kept for space between the two buildings. So we'll be building from this black membrane sort of here going that way. The workshop itself is going to be just a modest 10 foot by 10 foot. So we'll be laying out pad stones for the grid base, which will then build the workshop on top. The workshop itself is currently being manufactured. Obviously not there, you can see that. So we're going to construct the base and then the workshop will be going on over the top of it. What we'll do then with the workshop is we'll skin it on the inside with some form of rigid insulation, Celotex, Kingspan, one of the varieties of that sort of stuff, and then we'll skin it with a OSB sheathing so that we can do French cleat system. We're going to have cabinets run across the back, 10 foot worth of workbench. They're going to be quite deep because they're going to accept like the radial arm saw, which we've got to renovate before we can use that. So we'll be renovating that one before we inset it into the workbench, just in case it doesn't work. I think it's just the armature, but we've got to play with that to find out for sure. We're also going to have the drill press in there, which again I've got to renovate that as well. But these are both good old sturdy workhorses that just need a little bit of love, hopefully, to get going, and then we can hopefully get those. So they'll be across the back, and then there'll be workbenches on casters, which will house all the screw cases. That will provide an outfeed for the table saw, which will occupy like the island, if you like, so that we can work around it. So we should have a fairly big enough space to be doing all the stuff for the conversions and things like that we're going to be doing moving forward. The only reason for the radial arm is I've wanted one since I started watching the new Yankee Workshop back in the 90s, early 90s. I've always wanted one, finally got one, but it's a second hand to me, so it needs a little bit of work. So we spent quite a bit of time the other day clearing all this patch up ready. So now we need to get on. So we're going to be building it, like I say, 10 foot wide, 13 foot coming this way, which should keep it in line with the cabin nicely. So it'll have a nice air gap all the way around so that we can get around to sort of keeping the stain and everything up. And once that's all constructed, we're going to do that, and we'll redo the cabin as well at the same time. I am building a secondary tiny little workshop a little bit further down our vast garden. Well, that's what my legs say when I finish mowing the sodding thing, so that we can store other bits and bobs elsewhere. So that there's going to be sort of like two little workshops at play here. So the main one obviously here, and then the smaller one down the way. So we're going to concentrate on doing this one. So what you're going to see now is a fat man. Not so fat, that's a stone gun. It's coming off slowly. So you're going to see a sweaty old bloke in a minute humping 35 tiles. I've got 5 up already that I did the other day, so another 30 to come. That we've then got a layout in the formation, but then dig them in, mix the ballast and everything up to set them once we've squared them all up and set them. So we'll video it and then I'll put it on a time lapse, sort of getting the grids. You don't need to see this in slow-mo, you really don't. So we'll time lapse you for this bit, and we'll get the grids in some sort of fashion. So I'm going to work out how to time lapse this thing for 2 secs, and then we'll press play. We'll get this bit cleaned up so that we can lay down these slabs, and then we'll get going. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Oh, don't forget, you can now join the channel. Let me put that up while I'm bending. Oh look, there. Right, that's better. I don't have to bend down. Excuse me. You can now join the channel if you just click the join option just underneath, and then what we'll do is we'll display your name on the channel, direct on the channel. On each video you'll see your name up in lights. Obviously do please like, subscribe and ring the notification bell for the notifications when the videos do come out. This is a whole series just on this one. It's something we've been meaning to get around to doing. We've finally got there, so it's taken a little while, but we've obviously been busy that side doing the bloody van. So do give it a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, ring the notification bell, and don't forget to join, and we'll see you soon. I'll say see you soon. We'll set this up and then we'll time lapse that. So talk to you in a minute. Cool. Right, here we go. So that's the first pile up. So these are second hand, guys. If I can get this on. So all they are standard 500 wide, inch and a bit thick. So they do need a clean, but they'll get that as they're going down. So we'll make another stack, and then we'll lay out ready. So yeah, we'll start lifting the rest up and that, and then we'll move everything off to the side so we can fully lay it all out in grid form. That's one stack. Let's create another one. Right, there we go. So tick up these ones. We've got, I think, all the tiles up. So we're going to start on a grid 5 by 5, and then anything we've got left over can do the pad for the front porch part area. So the outer extremities of the tiles will be set at 12 feet. How to think about that then? No, 11 feet. So that they overhang the base by a foot, so that the levelling system that I've got sits directly in the centre of the tile. Again, they'll come this way by the same, and then the porch will just get added on afterwards. When I say porch, it's a step. The step's not necessarily important, it's just, if I can, I will. Just give me somewhere to step before I get into the workshop and try and keep it as clean as possible. So you're going to get a tape measure and put the first corner down, and then lay out the 4 corners and go from there, and make sure that they're all square to each other, taking the measurements from the furthest corners to make sure that they're at 11 foot on the square, and then working out the diagonals to make sure that the diagonals are also square, to make sure that everything is in line, and then we can lay out the rest internally to make sure that we've got them nicely set up. So we know that one's got to be placed smack in the middle, and then in the middle of each of those, and then gridded off from there. So I'll pause you again for a sec, and then we'll go and get the tape measure. Wherever I've hid that. Right, hope you're getting this. So we've come 5 down. We're currently working our way across, trying to get an even space, and if I just move you to there, you get a better understanding of trying to get like the centre line perfectly square on each other, evenly spaced, and then working it out to the sides. So I've got one there to do, so just trying to get that line up the back first, nice and level, and then working our way forward. These will be the pad signs for the levelers, and that is fairly level, but we'll be using, like I say, sand cement base underneath these, so we'll dig down 1 inch, 2 inches, or a couple of inches. There's not going to be a massive amount of weight in there that's going to require deep pads, so a couple of inches, that'll give me a 3-inch pad stone with weight spreading levelers, which will hit all of the pads. So it should be an even enough sort of weight spread to not cause any distortion. So and then so we'll just finish laying out the grid, and then we'll check it all for square against it itself, and then the unenviable task of digging it out, tamp it down, and then we can start leveling up. I did follow a series, I will put a link in the description below, for Mark from Start Making, or Start Making Woodworking. So I'll put a link in the description to his channel. He's well worth a follow. He's just done something very similar. He's built a slightly larger workshop than I'm going for, because all he does is obviously cabinet making. So he's built a slightly larger little thing than me. I do have the benefit of an outdoor garage roughly the same sort of size that I can set up out here as well to double my footprint as a temporary basis. So that's why I'm not too fussed about the current size of the workshop. Plus, if I'm milling down large sheets, I'm going to get Mr. B&Q or one of the other giant chains to do it for me, so that I can mill down sensible size sheets. So since it comes with the price of the timber, why not? So this size is adequate for what I currently need. It does give me the option to extend, to put on another room as either a finishing room or something else like that. So we've got the garden spaces. You can see we've got plenty enough space to whack up another one, and this is only the top half of the garden, so the formal half Mrs H won't let me build in. So this is perfect size for me at the minute. So and that does obviously mean that I can get kicked out of the cabin, which she's looking forward to. So like I said, I've got this space. I've got a pop-up garage that is the same size footprint as this, so that will give me more than enough land space to do stuff, so as a finishing room or whatever. So I know it's outside in the element, but well, in the cold at least, but I like the cold, so I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to finish laying this up, and then we'll show you where we are with it, and then what we've got doing. So we're going to lay these, and then we're putting a membrane over the top, weed suppressing membrane, which will infill with gravel, just to A, keep it down, and B, suppress any weed coming up underneath the workshop. And then we can then obviously build the workshop base properly with the levelers and the base structure, which we made out of 2x4. That will give me plenty enough weight bearing space across all these pad stones to take that kind of weight that we've got going in there. So we'll finish laying out the stones, we'll leave them to self-settle to start with, and then we'll start chopping them out, and then we'll get some sand or ballast and cement mix to tamp down, or once we've cut out the holes and tamped them down, to put into place. So once again, pause here while I just finish off doing these. I can't work out how to do time lapse, otherwise you'd be on time lapse, so I'm just gonna have to, you're gonna have to imagine me laying these. Like, it's not particularly hard, it's quite literally that. It's that times 25, you can work it out. So the difference with Mark's, when you and yes, I know that's squint, different when you watch Mark, he's done a full foundation for his, because his is fully weight bearing on his, mine's not, hence why I'm not doing it like this. Oh, sorry, hence why I'm doing it like this and not like Mark did his. So this is obviously day one of workshop build, the foundations. So let me just finish messing around with this, and then come back to you. Okay, right, that's the grid form laid out. So we've gone 5 over, ignore those two, where are they? There, for a sec, just ignore those two. And we've come 6 down. The reason for coming 6 down is to do the decking at the front, to access the workshop. So we're going to do just a tiny little deck. So these front ones here, they're not fixed in position at the minute, so much as they can move this way or be jiggled somehow, or just set as slabs. I haven't quite decided on that one. I've got the slabs, so could leave them as just 2-row deep slabs. I've got other slabs elsewhere that I can use just to create another pad, just so that we don't take crap into the workshop basically. But as you can see, they're all nicely even. They are, if I bring you here and set you up there, I think you'll be able to see that from this one here going diagonally. They are all in line, they are all measured, so it's exactly 11 foot from that edge to this edge, from that edge to the 5th layer down, which is this one. They're all 11 foot on the outside. So when we drop in a 10 by 10, that'll sit smack in the middle of all of these pad stones. So the job now is to just let them settle in their own place, just to fully mark where they're going to be, which will kill anything that's underneath nicely, and then we'll dig them out. The two that I told you to ignore, which is these two, just there, these two, that's going to be for a compressor store, to put the air compressor outside of the workshop, because it's flipping noisy. It's only a little compressor, sort of 6 litres, so it doesn't hold a lot, but gosh, as soon as you start nailing, it's on all the time. So I want that outside, and then we'll plumb permanent feed for it into the workshop so that it's accessible with just a flexible line after that, and that way it'll be slightly less irritating. We are going to have electrics. We'll stem the electrics off the back of the cabin, so they'll come in from this corner here. We've got sockets and everything there so that we can just pull out straight out the back into the workshop. There's a 100 amp fuse board up there. There's only 4 sockets in the cabin, so there's plenty enough juice there to pull it all over. So this is day 1 workshop build. Mrs H is busy toiling in the background, doing the rose garden that she wants to do. So she's nicked some of the other slabs, otherwise we could have made this huge, considerably bigger. So that is day 1. Day 2 will consist of cutting that lot in, which is in another video, and then we can start doing the membrane, the gravel, and then outfitting the base ready for the actual workshop. So let's do this. Oh, come on. So from a very sunny back garden, blindingly sunny in fact, let me do that, because that is blindingly sunny. So let me stand over here. Now that makes it even worse, because now you see my bald head. Oh gosh, there. Let's do it there. There's in the shade of me enormous tree. So thanks for watching this episode. You're right there. That don't fit. I can make it fit, I'll just cut it. So be an excuse to get a toy out. Big 9-inch angle grinder, and just whip that edge off for you.
That would be a good idea if you could.
I can do.
Just fill it up, and then it's like our own little, you know.
Yeah.
It should limit the cats pooing in here and weeds to a point.
Yeah, I'll get the angle grinder out and whip that. Yeah, I'll go and get it in a minute. I've just finished talking to. Yeah. So I'll finish talking to the fans.
Okay, yeah.
So and then we'll sort that out. She's putting slabs down for the rose garden. Anyway, thanks for watching. Do please give it a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe. And once again, don't forget that you can now join the channel, which just helps and encourages us more to do these videos. Oh, another note, Pete's fan goes in on Monday for its MOT, so keep your fingers crossed for that one. Hopefully, after all the work we've done on it, replacing the injectors and catalytic converter and blah 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 and so much other stuff, right, hopefully it'll pass, but we'll find that one out. And then we're going to be starting on Dad's car, the Toyota Auris. We're going to get that one sorted out soon as well. But this is the priority, I am being told. Mrs. H doesn't want me playing out in the winter. So, thanks for watching. Do give it a thumbs up, a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to join.